Hey everyone! Today, we're diving into a retro handheld that's stirring up some major nostalgia, the Anbernic RG34XX. If you've been craving a modern twist on the beloved Game Boy Advance, this device might just hit the mark. With a design that's almost a replica of the GBA, plus some modern upgrades, this handheld is all about delivering that classic vibe. Let's see how it works. The first thing you'll notice is how much the RG34XX resembles the original GBA. From the shape, size, and even the feel of the buttons, this device is a trip back to 2001. It comes in 4 color options, including indigo and 2 transparent versions, leaning heavily into that retro aesthetic. The build quality feels sturdy, and while the device isn't the slimmest on the market, its chunkier design adds to the nostalgic charm. But let's be honest, this isn't going to be the most ergonomic handheld for adult hands. The compact size and angular edges may remind you just how much your hands have grown since the early 2000s. One standout aspect of the RG34XX's design is its attention to detail. The lanyard hole, ribbed edges, and matte finish all scream retro, and they've even included a lanyard in the box for those who want to fully embrace the vintage vibe. The packaging is another nod to nostalgia, closely mimicking the original Game Boy Advance box design from Japan. This device clearly aims to transport you back to the golden age of handheld gaming. This device includes dual microSD card slots, one for the operating system and one for games, along with a mono speaker, a USB-C port for charging, and even mini HDMI output for playing on a TV. While the mono speaker gets loud enough for most games, it lacks the richness you'd get from stereo audio. For a better sound experience, headphones are the way to go. The mini HDMI output is a standout feature for a device at this price point. It allows you to connect the RG34XX to a larger screen, scaling the content appropriately for 16:9 displays. With a 3500 mAh battery, the RG34XX delivers about 6 hours of mixed gameplay, depending on the system and settings. It's not groundbreaking, but it's decent for a device in this price range. Charging is straightforward with the included USB-C cable, and the device supports low voltage chargers for optimal performance. The stock firmware is functional and straightforward, offering a plug-and-play experience. The OS supports features like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and a range of emulators. The menu interface is simple but could use some polish, particularly with scaling issues for bezels in certain aspect ratios. Adjusting settings manually can help improve the experience. Another interesting addition is the inclusion of pre-loaded games on a bundled micro SD card. However, for legal reasons, many users might prefer to load their own game files. The firmware also includes handy tools like hotkey remapping, allowing you to customize button combinations for save states, fast forward, and more. The RG34XX features a 3.4-inch screen with a 3:2 aspect ratio, making it perfect for GBA games. It has a resolution of 640 by 480, which allows for a clean 3x integer scale of GBA content. However, the screen's brightness might leave some users wanting more. While it works great indoors or in shaded areas, direct sunlight can make gameplay nearly impossible. Despite this, the display offers sharp visuals, especially for GBA titles, and the option to use shaders enhances the retro experience further. Interestingly, the screen's slightly smaller size for 4:3 content might be a drawback for some. For example, when playing NES games, the image shrinks to around 3.1 inches due to the aspect ratio difference. Compared to larger 3.5-inch displays on competing devices, this can feel limiting. That said, the 3x integer scaling for GBA games ensures a crystal clear image with no distortion, making it one of the best screens for that specific library. Under the hood, the RG34XX runs on the all-winner H700 chip with 1 GB of RAM, a chipset Anbernic has used in several devices before. This means solid performance for systems up to PlayStation 1, including all the usual retro consoles like NES, Sega Genesis, and of course Game Boy Advance. Dreamcast and Nintendo 64 games are playable but with limited compatibility, and don't expect miracles from PSP or Sega Saturn titles. Where the RG34X truly shines is with GBA games. The 3:2 screen ratio and accurate scaling make these titles look and feel fantastic. Features like save states, fast forward, and rewind add convenience that wasn't available back in the day. Additionally, the device includes pre-installed emulators that are optimized for these systems, ensuring smooth gameplay without much tinkering required. For those who enjoy tinkering, the device's firmware allows manual adjustments to shaders and aspect ratios, which can improve the visual experience for other systems. The buttons and D-pad on the RG34XX are a faithful recreation of the original GBA, for better or worse. The D-pad, while accurate, struggles with precision in games requiring quick directional changes like Contra or Street Fighter. Meanwhile, the face buttons follow the GBA's traditional layout, with 2 additional buttons added for modern emulation needs. These buttons feel solid, with a satisfying rubber membrane connection. However, their slightly smaller size may not suit everyone's preferences. One unique feature is the quiet shoulder and trigger buttons, which use a rubber membrane mechanism. These buttons are virtually silent, making the device ideal for late-night gaming without disturbing others. The placement of these buttons is faithful to the original GBA design, but might feel cramped for users with larger hands. The RG34X also supports Moonlight Streaming, allowing you to stream games directly from your PC. This means you can even play graphically demanding titles like Baldur's Gate 3 on the handheld. While it's impressive that this feature works, I wouldn't recommend relying on it. The small screen and limited controls of the RG34XX don't do justice to such complex games, and the experience feels more like a proof of concept than a practical way to play. For casual PC streaming, it's fine, but for full immersion, you're better off using other devices. The Anbernic RG34XX is a love letter to the Game Boy Advance. It excels as a dedicated GBA emulator and offers a nostalgic trip down memory lane. However, it's not without its flaws. The ergonomics, screen brightness, and limited versatility for other systems may deter some users. If you're primarily interested in GBA gaming, this is an excellent pick. For broader retro gaming needs, you might want to explore other options in Anbernic's lineup. If you like the RG34XX and are thinking about picking one up, please consider using the link in the video description. It helps support the channel at no extra cost to you and allows me to keep creating content like this. You can also use the discount code in the video description to get 10% off your purchase. So, what do you think? Is the RG34XX worth adding to your collection? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more retro gaming content. Thanks for watching, and happy gaming!